Come on, man. And with the local DBC news, LL Cool J with a triumphant comeback. But tonight,
you've been waiting on that time, and now here it is with another Average Joe conversation with three average guys, AC, Tyler, and Wes, with Walk the Plank.
don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years. I'm rocking my pants, putting suckers in fear, making the tears rain down like a monsoon. Listen to the bass go boom, explosion.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Walk the Plank.
This rainy, lazy day. Hope everybody's staying dry out there.
That's why we're inside with this mirror and all that stuff. We like kind of doing it outside.
And we prefer to do it outside.
Well, yeah, because you have that cool Blair Witch Project thing going on in the background with all the trees and the weeds and all that.
Well, that and it feels great outside.
Yeah.
Maybe next week we can cook out while you're doing the show.
Yeah,
It's that time of season. You got a baseball game on, get the grill going, crack a cold one. Perfect.
I crack a cold one every night anyway, even if it's snow on the ground. It don't matter.
Yeah, keep you warm.
Anyway, we had an interesting time in sports. A lot happened last week. And I'm seeing a trend here because something always is happening. But it seems it's getting more and more involved. The NCAA is getting more and more involved, which they have every right to, on the UT scandals and all that kind of stuff. But we're not going to touch on that because baseball has hit us, and it's hit everybody, and it's going to be an amazing year this year. What's your thoughts on baseball so far?
Baseball, it's always fun. It's always going to be a roller coaster ride. And doesn't matter what your team is. The worst team can always beat the best team. It's just 9 innings. You got to drink.
Yeah, I'm out of tea.
9 innings of pure fun.
Yeah, well, the pure fun part is this. Both Mississippi teams are both, 7 wins? They both have 7 wins. I think State is 7-2.
Maybe 6-2, because I know last week Memphis was postponed and they never made up that game. So maybe 6-2. No, 7-2, because they played that extra game the first weekend.
Yeah. They beat Alcorn State 14-0 in a midweek battle. Ole Miss dropped Memphis 9-7 last night. Last
night, which was interesting because Ole Miss got behind early, 6-0. When I first looked at it, it was 6-0 in the bottom of the third, and apparently after that, Ole Miss just dominated.
Well, let's actually touch on that. Let's rewind a little bit. I would like to touch on the Louisville impact that whole situation had, not just for the Ole Miss Rebels, but for baseball in general. It had a big impact that early in the game, in the season.
Well, I mean, Louisville hadn't lost a series since 2014. That's almost going just under 2 years.
Yeah, they were 1 out or 2 outs away from the World Series.
Last year, which would have made it 3 in a row years. Dan McDonald put Louisville to the College World Series. I mean, he won the ACC. Louisville won the ACC last year in their first year at a 25-5 league record. And I think they won over 50 games last year. In return, a lot of their starters, their ace pitcher, Funkhauser, he was top 10 overall pick in the draft and turned it down because he didn't get the money he thought he deserved. Came back, and again, he had a bad game, yes, but like I said just a little bit ago, baseball is a funny game because you can be the best of the best, and the worst of the worst can beat you. Everybody has those kind of games, and Funkhauser had that kind of game. He's a legit talent as a pitcher, but he didn't have his best game, and Ole Miss took advantage. Props to the Ole Miss hitters for being what's what I'm looking for. I guess aware, coach, whatever, enough to lay off the pitches to allow them to get walks, to push runners across home plate.
Because I don't think there's really, now I may be wrong, but I don't think there's a way that you could really study pitching. I mean, you can see and you know what they do, but I don't think people can get in there like a quarterback and study hours of film.
But you can,
but you don't know who they're going to rotate in or what they're going to do in certain.
No, but I mean, you've got film on every pitcher they rotate in, and you get, depending on if the coaches call the pitches or the catchers or whatever, you can see what they like to go to in certain situations. I mean, you study that on game film just like you would football. And hitters, same way. You study where they usually hit the ball, the way they what count they're in, or how many outs there are. Hitters usually have there's one word I'm looking for. I cannot come up with it at all. They usually have not a go-to, but what am I trying to say?
What you're saying is, let's go on to the next topic, because I get what you're saying. Me personally, I played baseball, and
I did too.
You know, and I'm just saying, I don't foresee them spending hours watching a particular pitcher.
But they do.
They spend more of their time actually in the batter's cage.
Well, batter's cage, but yes, you've got to know what to look for from a pitcher, on his breaking ball, curve ball.
Oh, I'm sure that's the reason.
If it doesn't have movements up, down, left, right, and out. I mean, you've got to know what pitches are good pitches from him and what pitches to lay off.
I got you. We'll agree to disagree. Because that's not the pros, and I understand that's the reason they have their first base, first, third base coach, and all that good stuff. They take signals. I grasp that. Anyway,
man, I just want to say, I'm kind of excited for some announcements I think are coming up in the very near future. Y'all should be looking forward to. I don't know if I'm allowed or we're allowed to say anything just yet, because I don't think one of these are set in stone. You get where I'm going with this?
I get where you're going, but I wouldn't say anything.
I'm not going to say what it is yet, but I'm excited for the potential of the very near future of this show.
I am too.
I will say that.
Yeah, there's some great things coming on, and I don't like shooting from the hip. I don't like, being half-cocked at anything, and so if I'm going to do something, and if Tyler's going to do something, we're going to come straight at it. And you know what? I totally missed this, man.
Did you mention we're sponsored by Tab Plumbing? Did you?
Yeah. Yeah, Tab. Shouts out to you, Rodney Keith. But I totally missed something two things, actually. I'd like to touch on the connection with the Louisville coach and Mike Bianco. Could you tell them a little bit about that? Because I was really want to touch on that.
Yeah, Mike Bianco was the head coach at Ole Miss starting, I think, in 2000 and, let me get my papers right, 2001. And Dan McDonald was his assistant from 2001 2006. So Dan McDonald came straight from Ole Miss to Louisville. Players like Stephen Head, Seth Smith, I think Drew Pomeranz, players like that, Dan McDonald helped recruit. Dan McDonald's a heck of a recruiter. That's why he built Louisville up so fast and got them so strong, because players like him. He's just one heck of a recruiter and knows how to coach baseball. So, I mean, there's a lot of people that wanted Mike Bianco gone before he made the College World Series. They wanted Mike Bianco fired and to hire Dan McDonald from Louisville. And I still kind of hear rumors that once Mike Bianco steps down, Dan McDonald will be the favorite to take over the Ole Miss job. But again, that's just hearsay. I don't see Mike Bianco stepping down anytime soon.
Yeah, that's wishful thinking. Bianco's good. He'll probably be there another 10 years. He could be a Ron Polk,
He really is.
I really don't envision him going anywhere because he built that program from nothing.
I mean, literally, it was nothing. Every 2, 3, 4 years, you might get a regional. Now, if you don't get a regional and host, it's a disappointing year. He's brought in a ton of talent. He's had a lot of great teams. And depending if you're one of those black helicopter, aluminum bull hat, conspiracy theorists.
Like 99% of the rest of everybody else in the world except for us two?
Yeah, just us two. We're the only realists in this world for y'all to understand that. Ole Miss has caught a lot of bad luck in regionals, playing Miami, playing Texas in the super regionals, not regionals. Playing Texas, I think it was in 2005 when Ole Miss hosted their first super regional. Augie I can't think of Augie, whatever, Texas's head coach at the time, baseball head coach at the time, publicly said the Ole Miss versus Texas series in Oxford, Super Regional Series in Oxford, was for the national championship, and that was sad because nobody in Omaha could come near Texas the way Ole Miss, excuse me, the way Ole Miss did in Oxford. And like I said, if you want to call it bad luck, or if you want to call it, certain people putting certain teams and another certain teams regional, super regional to keep them out of Omaha, that's up to you. But it is sad that Ole Miss and Texas did not meet for a national championship in Omaha, Nebraska.
Man, I know exactly why they met. That's a whole nother series, and all you do too. You know what was going on with that. Anyway, let's.
Augie Guerrero. Just wanted to get that in there.
Yeah, but I know why they all met. What went down with that deal.
That's all allegations, and that's what we're against in the show is allegations. So you can make your own opinion, and we'll just give you the facts.
Yes, in the last baseball thing that I'd like to touch on, and this is really, really important to me. He's a hometown hero, I would say, in Atlanta and Pearl. Jeff Francoeur was just signed to a minor league deal back with the Pearl Braves. And if you guys remember back when the stadium was built and it was such hype going on, Brian McCann and Jeff Francoeur were kind of the leaders, and rightfully so, of the team.
They played together, for 2 years?
Yeah, something like that. It was really fun. It was sort of like a miniature version of the Bash Brothers. And Jeff coming back is going to bring. I tell you what, I know I'm going to go to Pearl and I'm going to see it and Thirsty Thursdays and all that good stuff. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. But anyway, that's our baseball roundup, and we've got a lot more coming. We want to touch on spring practice. It just started up for football, and the NFL combines. We're going to talk about the booms and the busts. But anyway, we'll get back with you here briefly to put your image in right there. So that's the reason for the blank. Okay, we have many different methods for. We have packages put together. Just shoot us an email, call us. We'll have a phone within the next week. And if you know us personally, just call us. Yeah, call us.
We've already got the packet letter ready to go. We're just waiting on you.
Yeah, because I'm telling you right now, we went viral with it last night, and within about
3 hours.
3 hours, we touched over close to 5,000-6,000 people. So it's pretty quick. And you know me, I like to do the social media thing. So does Tyler.
And my phone blew up all last night from the likes, the shares.
Absolutely. So
the ads. We hit a lot of people last night in a very short period of time. So that could be you.
Well, it needs to be you because we are getting right into football. Spring practice has started. It's gone underway, and at least there's some pretty interesting stuff going on here at the quarterback position. I'm going to start off. We'll touch on Ole Miss later. I want to start off with Mississippi State. What's your take on this? I know Fitzgerald is the front runner here, and this guy's 6'5". He's pretty big.
Yeah, Fitzgerald should be the starter next year, but I would lower my expectations. He's not going to be the next Dak. Just like there's not going to be a next Eli Manning or next Tim Tebow. But State quarterbacks consist of Elijah Staley, who's a sophomore who did, I believe, get some playing time in throwaway games this past season. Then, like Wes said, Nick Fitzgerald, who I believe will be the starting quarterback this fall at Mississippi State University.
And they do have Fred Ross returning to throw to, even though De'Rania Wilson's gone. So they do have one awesome wide receiver.
Yeah, Fred Ross was a pretty good player. In any other offense, he could have been probably the key or main wide receiver. He's that good. Damian Williams, he's a junior. I don't know how much playing time he's gotten. And then you got Nick Tiano, who I think is supposed to be the next Dak, is what I've heard. I've not seen the kid, so I don't know personally. But yeah, I agree with Wes. I think Nick Fitzgerald's going to be the next guy. But I think he fits more of a passing attack more so than like running like Dak was.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. It's funny when schools say like the LSU's. And I'm going to touch on the Ole Miss Rebels quarterbacks in just a second. But I want to touch on that. You say that schools say there's going to be the next Bo Jackson or the next Deuce McAllister or the next Cecil the Diesel. Do you know, let's see, Leonard Fournette, when he leaves, who could they possibly say is going to be the next Leonard Fournette?
I don't know, but they will. They'll find a running back that they think looks like him or plays like him or whatever and label him the next Leonard Fournette. And then it never comes to fruition.
Yeah. Ole Miss is still trying to find the next Deuce, and he's been gone for over a decade. I think it's going to take a little bit. I guess what I'm trying to say is that I think it's going to take a little bit for the next Dak to come along.
Well, there won't be a next Dak. There's not ever going to be a next Dak.
Yeah, I mean, there was more to Dak than just football. He was great for the
whole Starkville.
The Starkville, yeah, exactly. He was a great dude, overall, just a very likable guy. I don't care who you are. You got to pull for the guy. You got to pull for the kid. He's very likable. All right, well, let me touch into and this is very interesting here. Up in Oxford, everybody knows that Chad has cemented himself into the starting role, barring some just crazy chain of events. But the second and third string, okay, Ryan Buchanan and Devontae Kincaid. Where did Devontae go? Was it Grambling State?
Yeah, I think he went to Grambling.
And Buchanan just retired.
Yeah, he quit football. He saw there was no playing time for him and just wanted to focus on school. And I think he's up in Washington, D.C. now as an intern, trying to further his degree.
Wouldn't doubt me. He's a bright kid.
Yeah, he's smart as a whip. I think that whole family is.
Yeah, they are. So, Jason Pellerin, he's out of Louisiana. The guy is 6'4". Now, you want to talk about somebody that looks like Dak Prescott? This guy is 6'4", 230 pounds, and he's got just a howitzer of a cannon for an arm. And Jason Pellerin, yeah. He's just.
Did you read the dictionary last night? Or?
No, I didn't read the dictionary. I just look underneath my bed, man. But anyway.
Squirt guns under there.
Yeah. But a lot of people have him pinned as second string, but I don't see it happening. Because Jason Pellerin.
Well, I mean, he was the number one. Let me go back and kind of for people who don't know who Jason Pellerin is. He was the number one quarterback recruit out of Louisiana 2 years ago.
Yes.
Highly touted kid. And
who was the one quarterback to beat him?
There's one that played him in the state championship, Pellerin's senior year in high school, and I believe his name was, correct me if I'm wrong.
Shea Patterson. Shea Patterson.
You will let me do my thing, whatever.
Yeah, knocked him down, and I firmly believe that you're going to see more of Pellerin in like a running type option. Yeah, the old school, was it like Wildcat, like something like that. But Shea Patterson is going to get snaps.
Well, I think Pellerin's going to be. If you're an Ole Miss fan, you'll know what I'm talking about in the Randall Mackey role.
Exactly, Barry Bernetti,
Randall Mackey, same deal for
yep.
Pellerin, I do believe.
Heck, because he's a really gifted kid. Anyway, all three of them are.
So do you not count Liggins as quarterback anymore?
No, Liggins has moved to offensive tackle, and he actually changed his number from 15 to 70.
So he is official alignment.
He is.
He changed his number. It's like Facebook official. He changed his number.
Yeah, Coach Freeze. And get this, Shea Patterson changed his number from high school. Now at Ole Miss, it is number 20. If you want to know why, his grandfather played for the Detroit Pistons, and apparently this whole family is loaded with talent, and his number was 20.
Hey, speaking of Shea Patterson, we'll get off the beat trail real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Have you heard about Michigan going down to Iron Vita for spring ball this year?
Yep, we heard about it.
And
just made a post on Walk the Plank about one of our up and coming favorite coaches in the SEC. He's crazy.
He's a troll.
Oh, man, he's the worst.
He is
Brett Belima, I could drink a beer with him.
and his wife.
Yeah, Brett Belima's going down to IMG, man, to get.
But like, I think Kirby Smart's got on board, and you're saying,
Man, it's great. I think everybody should just show up.
Have lunch at IMG with Coach Belima.
Yeah, Coach Belima does. I mean, it's going to be great. It's going to be great because you got to see something, man.
I want to go because I want to see that interaction between Belima and old Michigan boy up there.
Harbaugh
Harbaugh
don't want none of Belima. That's a big boy, man. He could play fullback for him.
He can play fullback and offensive line at the same time for any team out there. He's a big boy, and I would want a piece of him.
No, man, no.
But anyway, let's get back to this quarterback deal we got going on. I just wanted to mention that real quick.
Yeah, basically what I project is Shea Patterson at number 2 and Jason at 3, with Chad being the starter. Now I want to talk about LSU. You know, if they ever had like a quarterback, which they've had several.
But they've had more athletes than quarterbacks.
They have.
And I'm not trying to head against LSU. If LSU could ever find a consistent, accurate quarterback, they would be dangerous with Fournette and that defense and their offensive line. But I mean, agree or disagree with me. My opinion on LSU this year is they'll start off hot like they did last year, have the high rankings
Until about game 6 or 7.
Yeah, they hit the mid SEC schedule and teams that can stack the box and actually make their quarterback throw. I think Jefferson, is that correct? Jefferson throw. It's going to be just like last year. They're going to crumble in the year. And I think this is Les Miles last year.
Yeah, I very well could see it. And actually, this is a really, really weird time for the SEC in general. With the exception of Dobbs out of Tennessee, Chad Kelly, can you really realistically tell me that there is a bona fide starter that could lead that team?
All right, well, let's go through it.
Arkansas that had
Alabama.
We don't even know what's going on. We have no idea. In Alabama, you don't know. I know you're going to argue with us, but walk that plank because I promise you don't know yet.
Well, Alabama, who's your center?
Good point.
Who is your running back? You say
we know it's Bo.
Well, you say Bo, but Bo, what has Bo done? Bo has not been in a real.
Bo don't know. Bo don't know. Bo don't know.
Bo's had a bum knee. That's why we said one reason he set out. He's had injuries, so we don't know how good Bo's going.
Oh my God, they lost Drake too. I forgot about that.
Kenny Drake.
Oh my God. Yeah.
But your new quarterback, new center, those are your two big things for Alabama. And I don't think anybody can tell me who's going to replace those two players. Alabama center last year was probably the best center in the nation, Ryan Kelly. I can't think of one better than Ryan Kelly. But now I could tell you who's going to replace it. All right, let's go to number 2, Auburn. Who's Auburn's quarterback?
They've had issues. Man, I don't even know. Man. To be honest with you, even if they have, now, Tyler, even if they had a bona fide starter like they had the preseason hype Johnson last year,
Jeremy Johnson.
He turned into the biggest bust I've ever seen since Ryan Leaf in the pros.
I remember earlier we were talking about the next whatever.
Yeah.
Auburn signed a kid at East Mississippi Community College. Who's going to be the next? Who's the quarterback 2 years ago?
2 years ago?
Nick, whatever. He's going to be the next one.
Nick Marshall.
Nick Marshall, thank you. I had it in my brain when I started this conversation and it just left me. But Nick Marshall, again, there's not going to be another Nick Marshall. This kid may be good.
Yeah, there'll be another Nick Marshall because he didn't.
After last year, I give Nick Marshall a lot more credit than I did before. Nick Marshall made that team better.
He was a stud.
And that showed last year.
He was a stud.
Well, let's go to Arkansas.
Now, hold up. You said Les Miles only has 1 year? You heard it here. Gus Malzahn, I'm giving a year or 2 years if he doesn't get it together. Auburn's not going to tolerate that.
I say if he 7 wins or below, Gus Malzahn, and maybe even
7 wins, he is out of there.
Alabama's winning championships. Auburn fans cannot stand that when they're being mediocre or losing. They cannot stand it and will not tolerate it.
They're not going to lose another another Iron Bowl, man. It ain't going to happen.
I promise you, Auburn will never lose an Egg Bowl. I promise you that.
you know what I mean, the Iron Bowl. But anyway, look, we've got Auburn, so let's go.
Oh, Arkansas.
We got Arkansas just flat out ain't got a quarterback.
Well, they got the little brother. Now, if
they don't even have one.
Is he going to be as good as his bigger brother?
Man, we don't even know. Arkansas don't even know. Let's just go on to Arkansas, past Arkansas.
All right, who's next? LSU, we've already discussed.
We know. Texas A&M. Knight, this guy here, he actually could blow it up, man.
He could.
I mean, I'm telling you right now, Knight could actually be the dark horse of the entire SEC.
They could. I didn't think about that, but you're right. But this goes back to their defense. What do they have on defense?
They've never had defense. They never will have defense under that particular head coach.
All right, what about a running game? What about a running game?
They will not have a running game.
Then pretty much
what they are. If you guys remember, Jared Lorenzen up in Kentucky,
the Moose.
This is exactly this type of deal that A&M is running right now. Throw, little bitty run. Throw, little bitty run. They are a Kentucky 2016 made over. All right, so we'll just have to see what Knight does. Who's next on there?
I think could be gone this year.
Who? Someone?
If they go 7-8 wins again,
he's the second highest paid coach in the SEC.
I mean, look at someone. Let me put it this way: look at someone without Manziel.
I did last year. It sucked.
And the year before that,
it was horrible.
The rest of my case. All right, next time.
Yeah, next team. Let's see. We've already discussed Ole Miss,
LSU,
and Mississippi State, and all that good jive. We go
for the West.
Get back with me on in a minute because I'm so focused on Florida right now. It's eating me alive. Will Grier is gone.
And we posted last night on the board that Will Grier is also transferring again.
Again? What's going on with this kid?
I don't think he's there.
I don't think he's there either. I think he's a loose cannon, man. He gets popped with steroids not once but twice, which is what the media fails to tell you. He was already been warned about this once before. Let's see, Treyon. I simply don't know who the answer is.
Treyon's not there. There's they signed a highly rated kid.
Yeah, he was in the U.S. Army
All-American game.
Yeah, he looked decent. He looked decent.
He's raw. He played for that 1, maybe 2 years raw, but he's got a ton of potential.
Actually, you know what? We Florida, and the reason I'm laughing is because I was watching the U.S. Army All-American game. And I'm telling you what, I'm going to go right into Georgia. Eason was a total bust.
Well, Eason
in that game.
He fits the bill of the number 1 quarterback at the time because
he finished number
2.
Yeah, behind. Go ahead.
Behind Patterson.
Patterson
showed him and the rest of that quarterback crop up in that game. Patterson was, and I'm not trying to be a homer. I'm just shooting straight. Go back and watch the game and tell me, in honest eyes, he thought the best quarterback wasn't around there.
It definitely wasn't easy, and that's why I'm bringing up this particular deal at Georgia. Kirby Smart, who is used to not having it, and no knock on Alabama guys, but Kirby Smart is used to having a quarterback that leads his team, that basically just manages the ball. That's all they do, really, is just manage the ball. And now Kirby Smart is actually going to have to coach a team by himself. And he's looking at Eason. Is Eason going to be? Is he going to pull a Nick Saban and just manage the ball? Because what I saw in the Army All-American game is Eason cannot throw. He is inaccurate. He does have a cannon on him, but I mean Georgia. That's the big question.
Well, the thing of Georgia, they've got a running game to fall back on.
Oh man, yeah. And hey, look. While I'm on it, I know we're talking about quarterbacks, but Georgia's defense in the next 1 to 2 years is going to be the best in the SEC. Kirby Smart is not going to jack around. They're going to be tough. And so let's move on. We did Florida. Let's did
Tennessee, because Tennessee.
Tennessee. Dobbs is intelligent, man.
Dobbs is a good quarterback. I would argue he's second best quarterback in the SEC.
Probably first. I don't know.
I think he's better than Kelly.
I don't know. I mean, honestly,
Okay, first or
are you
second.
talking about running the scheme or just a straight up
I'm just
backdrop?
talking all around quarterback. I'm not talking about one particular area. I'm talking about all around quarterback.
Okay, all around quarterback in college, Dobbs fits the bill better than Kelly.
Okay.
In the pro, Kelly would blow him out of the water, in my opinion. Could be wrong. I mean, I'm not. I like both kids. I'm just saying that they both can run, and we'll just see. And also too, we know Dobbs is the starter at Tennessee. But there's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of distractions going on.
We'll get more about that
later. But I mean, do you think it might, real quickly before I go into the next team, do you think it might deflect the way that they think when they're playing?
If things go down the way they're looking like at Tennessee right now, Tennessee may not have much of a team left because if they lose their coach and these LOIs start being null and void, these players might start fleeing ship. The next head coach, if there is one,
be looking for Congo to leave. That's what I predict.
It's going to have to do one heck of a job to keep a lot of these players.
Yep, I do. I'm telling you guys right now, be looking for Congo to leave because his dad absolutely did not want him at Tennessee in the first place.
But this goes back to a previous episode. Does he leave and go to where the dad wants? Or does he go to one of the 4 schools that didn't include the school the dad wanted?
Okay, well, come out and say it. Where does dad want him to go?
His dad wanted him to go to Ole Miss.
Okay.
Straight up.
And he refused to sign the papers for a long time there. So, anyway, we're getting off base. Let's go to Kentucky. Their quarterback just transferred. They're in the. I did not realize how bad the SEC is on quarterbacks, man. It's awful.
And that's why we're doing this.
And Missouri is another one. We could just drop on through it. Vanderbilt, basically.
I think Vanderbilt has a returning quarterback. Now,
they do, but I'm talking.
We don't know.
Yeah, I'm just talking about selectively who's worth a damn. You know,
I think you got 2 legit quarterbacks returning in the SEC.
That's it.
2.
That's it. That is it.
And let me make a point here. Look who the favorites are to win each division.
The ones with the quarterbacks.
Exactly. You're always going to have Alabama.
Well, wait a minute. Always. Here in a little bit, underneath our comments, somebody's going to say, "Well, Bama doesn't have a quarterback, and they're going to win the national title."
Look. Let's cut the chase here, Bama fans. You have the most crimson-colored glasses out of anybody I've ever met. I agree. Bama's good at football. They're probably one of the premier, if not the premier team in the nation. But just because you've got the past and you're made up championships does not mean you're going to win it every single year. And I know you're going to hate on me. I don't care.
Well, actually, I'm going to go ahead and say this. It doesn't matter how many 5-star players you have, and Ole Miss has a lot of them too. What matters is this is going to be the first time that the new age Bama fans have actually seen Bama without Kirby Smart. That's going to be the big deal right there. And, of course, underneath it, there's going to be comments, well, we have this, we have that. Doesn't matter. You don't have Kirby Smart.
Well, I mean, in their defense, they did hire Jeremy Pruitt. He's a pretty good defense coordinator.
Oh, I'm sure, but there's not Kirby Smart.
Here's my question for Alabama. Once Nick Saban leaves, how many fans are you going to have left?
Oh, they'll have.
Just saying.
That's another episode. We'll interview all 5 of them. But anyway.
Actually, maybe 3.5 after Nick Saban leaves.
Anyway, I'm not hating on Nick Saban. He's one of the greatest ever.
I'd say he is the best ever.
Bear Bryant would slap him in his mouth right now.
New game, harder game. You recruit a lot more. Coaching a lot harder. I give Nick Saban the nod.
All right, so if we left any SEC teams out, it really doesn't matter because only 2 quarterbacks are really, like I said, worth a damn. So let's touch on this real quick because, like I said, there's a lot we could go over. We could ramble our lips for a long time, but I want to touch on the NFL combines, and I want to say this real quick and get it off my chest. We're all guilty of saying well, this person didn't compete in this, or this person didn't compete in this at combine. Okay. People say Treadwell didn't run the 40 because he's not fast enough, but yet he dominated all the other aspects of the combine. Okay, and some people would argue that Durania Wilson should have not ran the 40.
It probably would have benefited him.
Probably would have benefited him. So what I'm trying to tell you, viewers, is that give these athletes the benefit of the doubt, because there's a reason that Treadwell did not run. I think he's training to run the 40 to get the best time he can on pro day. Durania Wilson should have been told not to run the 40.
I mean, here's the thing about running it at the combine versus pro day. Pro day, you've got stopwatches. It's not lasered. It's going to be a little bit more kind to you. Treadwell even said at the combine, like Wes said, he's training to run the 40.
That's his whole goal. He's already proved to the scouts. He probably
doesn't have to run the 40. But at the pro day, those stopwatches are going to be a little bit more kind than the laser will to him. Plus, he's still training to run it. So he's going to get a really good 40 time. And
Durania Wilson's going to have another shot at this too now.
Yes.
Everybody is. So what my point is that let's give the kids some slack because they know what they're doing. But I do want to bring up this subject. There is a reason that Chad Kelly didn't go pro. He was told that he was going to be a midder, 3rd, 4th round. There is no way.
I was told after 3rd. He got the first 3, he could go.
Right, so it's smart to come back.
So he came back. And plus, it doesn't hurt to have your uncle being Jim Kelly.
But I'm leading into this. I want to know the draft grade on Durania Wilson. There's no way he got a draft grade of a 1st or 2nd rounder. No way.
People on NFL Network, after the combine, were saying he may not be drafted.
Yeah, he's going to get drafted. I mean, he's 6'5". He put up just ungodly numbers. But is he drafted in the first 3 or 4 rounds? No. He will not, because unless he does an about face during the pro day. Man, this weather's looking rough.
Yeah, I keep looking at it. But no, the only player I can actually see being drafted in the first round or 2 for Mississippi State is Chris Jones.
Chris Jones, I'm predicting right now, will go first round 26 or 28.
28.
Because Chris Jones is a complete raw monster. He could actually jump Robert Comdici. It just all depends. I wanted to do a segment on Robert Comdici and what is he thinking and why has this guy lost his mind. But I don't want to get into that because I see this weather coming in.
Well, no, I was going to say we can do that another time. We've got all summer. Not even all summer. We've got all spring to do it.
Yeah,
the draft is over a month away, so we've got time to do it. I think we're going to focus, or not focus, but I think we're planning to do at least 2 shows a week.
We are. We're going to do some. We're going to do some live out from the actual spots. I know that we're going to be doing them out at the Pearl Braves.
And we actually want to go try to go to these games. State, Ole Miss, Alabama, LSU.
Not try. We are. There's no way around it. We are.
That's fine.
I actually want to make the Soul Bowl. Believe it or not, that would be a cool one. I've never experienced that. But yeah, this has been a fun episode. But like I said,
let's take a break and do one more quick segment. So I want to get into this Tennessee stuff, and also there's something breaking today at ULL. I would like to get into it.
All right. Well, I'll let you have the floor, man. I'm gonna take a break, and we'll be right back with you. Walk the plank, guys.
Peace.
Welcome back to Walk the Plank. We actually were going to wrap up the whole deal, but Tyler just got some breaking news that cannot wait. Cannot wait. I can't believe this. Tell them what you got.
I mean, this is the official statement from ULL.
And then finish why it's so important.
Yeah, I'll got that on here. This is the official statement from University of Lafayette, Louisiana Lafayette. So this is not he said, she said. This is straight to the point. This is straight from the school. Their 2-year investigation over, done. They had to vacate 22 wins between 2011 and 14. This is new stuff. It's not stuff we've already discussed. Including those 22 wins include the New Orleans Bowl in 2011 and 2013. The reason they must vacate those wins because they had 5 ineligible players on their team due to David Saunders stuff. Like Wes was just saying, it relates back to Ole Miss because of David Saunders. We've already discussed all the David Saunders stuff with Ole Miss, so I'm not going back into that.
So that is the worst that has happened to ULL.
There's some other stuff, but that is the last of the stuff.
So basically, let's sum it up. And let's sum it up for the viewers. There's no post-bowl ban. There's
no death penalty.
No death penalty. None of that jive. And that's what happened to David Saunders, who was at
ULL for years.
ULL, but was only at University of Mississippi for 3 months.
3 months.
3 months, and that's all that ULL got. So which tells me right there.
And that is basically David Saunders stuff. This is not the rest of the allegations or whatever versus ULL. That's just the David Saunders stuff we got into because we tried to tie this back to the SEC. That's why. But let me jump right in.
Well, it's exciting news if you're an Ole Miss Rebel fan because that basically means that that's the worst that could possibly happen to ULL. It ain't going to get even near that close to the University of Mississippi. But go ahead.
Anyway, the latest from Tennessee, which broke the other night. This is from the Tennessean again. The same Miss Anita Wadwani. There's 8 female students that are involved. They allege that the athletic department and administration enabled the student athletes to escape punishment from these charges. The University of Tennessee has not filed a formal legal response. The lawsuit was filed by these women on February 9th. There's a former director of student judicial affairs. Her name is Jenny Wright. Now, I'm not going to read the whole article, but she felt pressure, intimidation, and fear in her dealings with all this. Wright said by the end of it, she was just plain scared for her safety, for her job, for her reputation, for everything. Tim Rogers, who's the former vice chancellor of student affairs and Wright's former boss, saw Wright being chewed out by the former AD Rogers. Not Rogers, excuse me.
Come on, man.
I'm trying to scan across.
Anyway, something happened.
But anyway, the AD was in her face, chewing her out, because he wanted to cover up these allegations. Tim Rogers retired, and in his resignation letter, he wrote, he cited intolerable situation in his resignation letter to Tennessee. This shows University of Tennessee consciously disregarded the general and specific warnings raised by Jenny Wright and Tim Rogers. That's pretty much all I have. And again, that comes from the Tennessean. So this is not something my sources said or the rumor said this. This is straight from the Tennessean.
Well, here's straight from Walk the Plank.
And
if Butch Jones did indeed tell his player to take one for the team and defend the team, he's fired. He's gone.
I don't know how he survives this anyway.
I mean, he's gone. Period.
But if you want to read more into what I was just telling you, like I said, I just kind of went over what I had, and that was even shortened. There's an article about Miss Jenny Wright on there, and it explains all what I have here. So if you want to go look at Tennessee and find that, you're more than welcome to. It's there.
Well, this is good stuff, guys. The breaking news that's pretty awesome and all this kind of stuff. But we got to wrap it up because this weather is rolling in, and
plus we both have things to do.
Yeah, all that good stuff.
I hope you enjoyed it. It's a little bit longer episode than we intended and planned. We'll be back with you next week, and maybe if you're lucky and if you're good, 2 episodes.
2, maybe 3 because we got somebody for you. Talk soon, baby.
Peace.
Walk the plank.